Good morning. My name is Dallita Green, and this is my 5th grade class. Today, I am going to be doing a read aloud, My Rotten Redhead Older Brother, and the children will be making inferences and coming up with definitions for new vocabulary words. My rotten red-headed older brother. My brother and our mother and I all live with my grandparents on their farm in Union City, Michigan. Now, my babushka, my grandmother, knew lots of things. She knew just how to tell a good story. She knew how to make ordinary things magical. And she knew how to make the best chocolate cake in Michigan. After she told my brother and me a grand tale from her homeland, we'd always ask, "Bubby, is that true?" She'd answer, "Of course it's true, but it may not have happened." Then she'd laugh. Now, I knew that she loved me all right, but I couldn't quite understand how she could even like my older brother, Richard. He had orange hair that was like wire. He was covered in freckles and looked like a weasel with glasses. The one thing that my bubby didn't seem to know was how perfectly awful my brother really was. Mind you, he was always nice whenever she was around us. But as soon as she'd leave, he would do something terrible to me and laugh. There were so many things that I couldn't stand about him. The worst was that he was always telling me he could do just about everything better than I. "Bet I can pick more blackberries than you can," he jeered at me one day. Think about that word, jeered. Jeered. And that sentence. I'm going to read it again. "Bet I can pick more blackberries than you can," he jeered at me one day. "No, you can't. Can so. Cannot. Can," he whispered. "Not," I said louder. "Can," he whispered so low that I could hardly hear him. "Not," I screamed back. Now, what do you think it means when someone jeers at you? What do you think that word means? Yes. Nice, Zoe. So she said, one more time, nice and loud.
That people make a statement that they can do better than you.
I like that. What else? If I jeer at you.
I think it'll mean that like you'll give them like a little smirk.
I like that. Good. Yes.
Said like in a silly and annoying way.
Yeah, in an annoying way. I'm jeering at you. Good job, guys. We both picked berries for most of the afternoon. Well, he upped and did it. He not only picked more berries than I, he set a record that wasn't even challenged for the next 10 years. "You make me sick, Richard Barber," I yelled at him. Then he smiled that smile that only a rotten, red-headed older brother could smile. I guess I would have to face it. He could run faster, climb the highest, throw the farthest, sit the longest, get the dirtiest, burp the loudest, and spit the farthest. He had no equal, certainly not me. "And I'm 4 years older than you. Always have been and always will be," he sneered. Ooh, so the first word was jeered. The second word, sneered. What do you think that means? He sneered. Zoe.
It's kind of right.
It is. Those words are rhyming words. Jeered and sneered. But what do you think it means when it says, "Always have been and always will be," he sneered? Okay.
Sneer, I think, like he stuck his tongue out at her and like said he better than her.
I like that. So sort of like he's going, right? Okay.
Maybe a voice like this.
Oh, I like that voice. And I like that face. A sneering face. Go ahead, Joshua.
Maybe sound like this.
I don't hear anything. Oh, yes. That sounds like a sneer to me. Good job. There had to be something I could do that he couldn't. Then an inspired thought comforted me like a fresh breeze on a hot summer day. Oh, Richie, I cooed as I stood next to the rhubarb bushes. Do you like rhubarb? No, he said. It's the sourest stuff on this planet. Now I knew at long last that I had him. But I can eat more of this raw rhubarb than you can without getting the puckers. What are the puckers? Oh, let me see the puckers. Let me see them. Now, what do you think, guys, looking at this picture, what is rhubarb? What do you think it is? Leah,
Like a type of candy.
you think it's a type of candy right here?
No, it's like celery.
It does look like celery. A type of what, though? Some type of plant?
Some type of plant you can eat.
Some type of plant you can eat?
Probably like the sourest plant on Earth.
A sour plant on Earth? What do we call plants that we eat, though, guys?
Lettuce.
Lettuce is a plant that we eat, yes.
Cauliflower?
Cauliflower is a plant that we eat, but what do we call those things when our parents put them on our plates?
Veggie.
Vegetables, yes. So rhubarb is a type of vegetable. Good job. Bet I can eat more of this raw rhubarb than you can without getting the puckers, I challenged. I don't think so. I do. I don't, he said, narrowing his eyes. I do, I insisted. Don't, he hissed, looking smug. Do, I said furiously as I grabbed the first stalk and started chewing it almost down to the leaf. When I couldn't get one more sour bite into my mouth, he was still eating with relish. I thought you said you don't like rhubarb, I said through pursed lips. I don't like it. I love it, he announced as he popped the last stalk into his mouth. I was so mad I couldn't even feel how my belly was starting to ache. I can't stand you, Richard Barber. I double dog can't stand you, I screamed as I went into the house to be consoled by my grandmother. Yeah, I'm 4 years older than you too, you little twerp. Always have been and always will be, he called after me. Then he laughed, that rotten, red-headed, older brother laugh. What do you think that would sound like? Let me hear it, everybody. An evil laugh. Oh, that's a good one, Casey. That night at dinner, I could hardly eat. Have you been eating angry apples again, child? Bubby asked as she sliced me a huge wedge of rhubarb pie. I baked your favorite. Richard gave me one of his extra rotten weasel eyes, greeny tooth grins. At bedtime, my Bubby came and sat on the edge of my bed like she did every night. Look, a falling star, she said. We watched it streak across the sky. Then she spit twice between her fingers and gave her chest a loud slap. Why did you do that, Bubby? I asked. I was making a wish. Didn't you know that wishes on falling stars come true? At last, I knew how I was going to get back at my brother. For the longest time, I watched the dark sky until I saw a star shoot across the night. Then I spit between my two fingers and slapped my chest. It was done. My wish was to do something, anything better than my brother. I'd show him. The next morning, all I could think about was my wish. I was thinking about it so hard, I almost didn't notice the wagons and trucks pulling into the field down the road near Four Corners. A traveling carnival, my brother shouted as he ran toward me. They're setting up right here in our field. Bet I can eat more hot dogs than you can, he teased. He was already starting it, but this time I was going to do something so incredible that even he would have to sit up and take notice. I had a star wish. I'd show my rotten red-headed brother. All right, what do you think she's going to do? Based off what we just found out, RJ.
I think she's gonna put some of the
Okay. Something in the hot dog? Okay, what do you think, Kyrie?
I think he's gonna do some kind of prank that's gonna give him a taste of his own medicine.
A prank. Okay, I like that. What do you think, Joshua?
I think she's gonna put hot sauce in his hot dog, and he's gonna like.
Yes, she would get back at him. That's called what? Revenge. You think she's going to get some type of revenge? All right.
Also karma.
Say it again.
But also karma.
Ah, let's see what happens. That night, I ran straight for the merry-go-round. We must have taken 50 turns on that carousel, but then my brother got off. I stayed on. I went around and around and around. I knew I could do this longer than you, I shouted, my brother feeling proud, but just a bit dizzy. Trisha, I heard my puppy call out, get off from that thing. It's time to go home. The last thing I remember was stepping off from the platform. Next thing I knew, I woke up with Bubby sitting on the edge of my bed. Mom and Grandpa were there too. You gave us all a fright, Mama said. How do you feel? What happened? I asked. You fell, my rotten red-headed older brother announced with the biggest grin on his face. I don't know what we would have done, my Bubby said softly. Your brother carried you all the way home, and then he had to run get Dr. Lee. You had to have stitches. I watched it all, he said excitedly. You fell off the merry-go-round right into some pop bottles, my Gramps added. You even passed out, my brother chirped. Looks like you finally did something special. It was from that exact moment that our relationship changed somehow. Thanks, Richie, I said to him. What's a big brother for anyway? He said, blushing. That night, we were all out in the yard. On hot Michigan nights, it was my family's custom to sleep outside where it was cool. Look at those stars, Bubby said quietly. Wishes are funny, aren't they? I said. Sometimes they come true differently than you think they will. That's why you have to be very careful what you wish for. It just may come true, Bubby said. Then she squeezed both of our hands. Hang on to the grass, she whispered. Why, Bub? My brother asked. Because if we don't, we might float up to the stars. Then she leaned over and kissed us both 3 times. I kiss your eyes. I hold both of your hearts in my good keeping. And this night, I thank God that I walked this earth with both of you. Amen. Then we all just lay on our blankets in the gentle summer night. I'll always be 4 years older than you, though, my brother whispered softly. Then he smiled. All of us held one another's hands, and then we all drifted off to sleep. What a wonderful book. Now let's think about the story for a second, guys. Okay, so in the beginning of the story, what happened? All right, Leah.
He always liked to compete with his sister.
He always wanted to compete with his sister, right? He wanted to be the first at everything. Then, toward the middle, what changed? What changed in the story? In the middle. Kyrie.
She was a shooting, started making a wish about what she wanted to do.
Ah, okay. And what did she learn from the story? What did she learn? What did she learn? What was the lesson she learned in the story? Yes.
She can't always compete with her brother because she knows he's not right.
Okay. Was there a bigger lesson that she learned in the story? Casey.
Everything in the dark always comes to light.
Okay. So what was in the dark though that came to the light?
That her older brother was being mean to her. And when it came to light, her brother started to be nice.
I like that. I like that. So he learned that he probably should not be mean to his sister or compete with his sister. Okay, Zoe. Okay, so what did she learn?
She can't always compete with him.
Okay, anybody else? So there was a theme to this story, something that we can learn from too. So I want you to think, what could you learn from this story? Remember what happened? Her brother would always win, right? And so then she made a wish. And she said she wanted to beat her brother at something. Did she beat her brother at something? Yes, she did. However, was it a good turnout? No. So what is something we can take away from this story? Joshua.
Never do something that was just in the always just comes out terrible.
Ooh, okay. Zoe.
Don't do anything that's really not safe.
All right. So think about wishes. Blake.
Sometimes the wish don't come true.
But her wish did come true, didn't it? Because she said, I want to do something better than him.
Oh yeah.
But it didn't turn out the way she thought it was going to turn out. So when we wish, we should what? Be careful what we wish for, right? Because her wish came true. However, it didn't turn out exactly the way she wanted it to turn out. So that's the big thing. Be careful what you wish for. Thank you for joining us today, listening to our Read Aloud book, and watching our children as they make inferences about the meaning of new words.